You know, when music and politics and like celebrity all kind of smash together. That's what we're diving into today, a rally in Detroit that has everyone talking.
It's really interesting how these cultural icons are shaping political talk these days. This isn't just about endorsements, it's like these moments become part of the culture.
Yeah, totally. And get this, our listeners sent in some articles about this rally, and it features Barack Obama and Eminem. Can you believe it?
What a pair, right? A former president known for, well, being charismatic and a total rap icon with like a super dedicated fan base, both really powerful voices in their own right. And they're coming together to support Kamala Harris and Tim Walz's campaign.
Talk about a power move.
Eh,
The timing, right?
eh.
Early voting just started in Michigan, and we all know that state's always a nail-biter in elections.
Oh, absolutely. Every vote matters in a swing state.
Yeah.
And speaking of Michigan, Eminem opened the rally with Not Afraid, which, given his history, with political activism, especially against Trump, feels very intentional.
For sure. He's never been one to bite his tongue, right? Remember those diss tracks against Trump a while back? But from the articles, it sounds like his message at the rally was bigger than just like being against someone. He was really pushing for people to vote, to make their voices heard.
And then Obama takes the stage and starts rapping. He actually said the lines, "My palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy." Never thought I'd hear a former president quote, "Lose yourself."
What an entrance, right?
Yeah.
Gotta love a guy. He knows how to connect with people in such an unexpected way. But it wasn't all fun and games, was it? Obama had some pretty strong words for Trump, especially about his comments on Detroit.
Yeah, calling Detroit a developing city definitely rubs some people the wrong way, especially considering its history and, well, the whole complicated story of its economy. Obama was quick to contrast that kind of talk, what we've heard from Trump in those town halls, with Harris's message of, like, a more inclusive, supportive approach.
And all this is happening with the election neck and neck. The articles mention how Harris has gained ground since Biden dropped out, but Trump's still a tough opponent. And then there's the whole battle for control of the Senate. So much at stake.
Seriously, this election has me on the edge of my seat. It makes you wonder what everyone else is saying about all this. Speaking of which, have you heard of podcastword.io? It's this AI-powered search engine, but for podcasts.
Wait, are you talking about that thing where you can search for specific info inside podcasts? Like I could ask it, what are people saying about Obama being at that rally? And it'll actually find those moments for me.
That's it. No more scrolling forever trying to find the right episode. You can even chat with an AI version of podcast hosts, getting their take on things. It's incredible for, when you really want to dig deep into a topic like this rally and hear different sides of the story, not just what we're seeing in these articles.
Okay, that's really cool. I got to check that out. We've only scratched the surface of how big this rally could be, honestly. Feels like this is just the beginning of a much bigger conversation. But for now, let's get back to the rally itself. One thing's for sure. This was more than just endorsing a candidate.
It's like they got at something, really deep in our culture, like music and politics and fame all mixed up. And it's powerful, especially now.
Totally. Eminem brings that energy, right? And he can reach those younger voters who, might not be into the usual political stuff. And Obama, he's still that cool, calm leader, but he gets it. He's in on it.
Exactly. And those little moments, like him rapping, it makes them seem real, human.
It goes beyond whether you agree with their politics or not. It's just like a connection.
The articles mention how much positive stuff there was on social media about all this, especially Obama's rap. It makes you think, right? Like, how much influence do artists like Eminem really have on politics, even if they don't mean to? It's an interesting thought. Whether it's the music itself or just them showing up at an event, they have this power, this cultural weight that politicians just don't.
It's like they cut through all the noise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But beyond the hype, how can you even measure how much of a difference this rally will actually make? Will it get people to actually vote, to be more involved?
Those are the million-dollar questions,
Huh.
right? It's impossible to say for sure if one event can change how people vote. But it got people talking. That's got to count for something.
True. You got to get their attention first if you want them to change their minds about anything.
Right. And that's why I think this podcast word.io thing is so cool. Imagine being able to listen to tons of different people talking about this rally. Like hearing what everyone thinks about what it all means. You could have political experts, cultural critics, even musicians all weighing in.
Okay, now I'm really interested. Hearing those different viewpoints would be fascinating, especially after going through these articles. But let's get back to the rally. We've talked about the big names, the timing, how it fits into everything else that's going on. But at its core, what was the message?
It wasn't really just about telling people to vote for a certain person or even just the spectacle of it all. It was about reminding everyone that they have a voice, that their decisions mean something. It was about getting involved, having real discussions, and fighting for what they believe in.
That feeling that you can make a difference, that we can all work together to make things better. That feels really important right now, especially with how crazy everything feels politically.
Exactly. This wasn't about one single election or candidate. It was about reminding us that we have power, both individually and as a group. It was about giving people hope, getting them fired up to do something, and just showing how important it is to participate in a democracy.
That's a really powerful message, and it's something that people everywhere can relate to, not just in Detroit. And, like we were saying, there's always more to uncover here, more angles to look at. That's where something like podcastword.io comes in.
Think about it. You could hear from experts like political scientists who study how elections work, and they can tell you if this rally will actually get more people to vote. Or sociologists, they study people and culture, and they can talk about how music and celebrity influence opinions, or even just regular people like us sharing what they thought about it all.
It'd be like getting a peek into all these different minds and how they see this one event. For anyone listening who wants to really understand this rally and everything it means, podcastword.io is the way to go. You could literally be like, hey, what impact did this rally have on young voters? And bam, you've got a ton of info from people in the know.
And you're getting solid, unbiased information from podcastword.io. It's not about telling you what to believe. It's about giving you the knowledge and those different viewpoints so you can figure it out yourself.
I like that. It's about thinking for yourself and having real discussions. That's more important than ever.
Couldn't agree more. Knowledge is power, after all. And podcastword.io gives you the power to learn more about what matters to you.
It's like taking our deep dive to a whole other level, going way deeper than just the headlines, trying to wrap our heads around this moment in time. And I think no matter how you look at it, whether you're on podcastword.io or just thinking about what we've talked about, events like this rally can really light a fire in people.
It's a good reminder that we're not just like sitting here watching everything happen, We have opinions that matter, we can do something, and we have to, be a part of what's going on around us.
Well said. And sometimes it takes this wild mix of music and politics, maybe a sprinkle of celebrity stardust, to really drive that point home.
You got it. It's about capturing people's attention, tapping into what's going on in the world, and getting those conversations started, the ones that actually lead to change.
Because, like they say, everything's connected, right? And this time, it's music and politics totally intertwined.
For sure. And the world's just getting more and more complex, so we're only going to see these things blend together more and more. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Well, looks like we've reached the end of our deep dive for today, but we've just scratched the surface, really.
There's always so much more to learn, different sides to every story, and more people to listen to. Keep those questions coming, explore those different angles, and most importantly, keep talking about this stuff.
Couldn't agree more. And hey, who knows? Maybe you'll have your own aha moment while you're listening to something interesting on podcastword.io. Until next time, stay curious and keep on diving deep into the topics that matter to you.